will last forever. Together forever. This will last forever. Joined together when God is joined together. Nothing or no one can put asunder. This will last forever. Together forever. This will last forever. Joined together when God is joined together. Nothing or no one can put asunder. This will last forever. Together forever. This will last forever. Joined together when God is joined together. Nothing or no one can put asunder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Marriage and Ministry, where we want to encourage those who are married to view it as ministry so that you can be kind and compassionate to one another. But also, I love to bring couples to the stage so you can hear their stories. Today, join me in welcoming my friends, my guests, Darius and Leslie Hudgins. Hey, y'all, thank you so much for coming to Marriage and Ministry.
Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to jump right in, and we're going to start with your story. So how long have you all been married?
We've been married 39 years. But we've been together 41.
So 39 years married, together 41.
Yes.
Now, y'all are not, I know people think y'all are Rocky Mount born, bred, natives, grew up, but where are you? You're not from here.
No, I'm originally from New Jersey, but we, as a married couple in high school sweetheart, we come from Robertsonville, so 15 minutes on the other side of Tarboro.
Oh, okay. So not far, though. So y'all still Eastern North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Born and bred. So you mentioned high school. Y'all met in high school. So y'all
middle school.
Y'all have been connected since middle school.
Well,
he was in high school, I was in middle school. So let's get it out. He was in ninth grade, I was in eighth grade.
You in eighth grade. And so y'all have been connected since then. And you're still going strong. I told y'all they're my friends. We do ministry together now. I've gotten to know Darius and Leslie just more through church, community things, and so just doing those things together. But I really have been admiring your relationship. And I say admiring meaning when I see couples that kind of resemble Jason and I, and we were laughing because Miss Audrey just said she thought you and Jason were related, and I can see why. But 3 active kids, into sports, really into the community, and you still love each other and still smiling.
Right.
Now,
today, right.
She said today. Right. Darius said, that's right. We'll put those together and say, today, right. So what is the secret? 41 years of being connected to one another, 3 active children. Now, your family, you have grandchildren. You have three grandchildren.
That's right.
So, what is the secret, quote unquote? What's y'all's secret? And I use secret lightly because I understand everybody's story is their story.
That's right.
So, what would you all contribute it to?
Well, I can tell you this. I actually saw her when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 10 years old is 5th grade.
That's right.
So 9th grade. So 4 years went by before y'all connected.
Yeah.
And I just came down for a few months because my mother was sick. So my father lived here. So I came to be with him for maybe less than 6 months. And he saw me in that time period. And I went back to New Jersey. And,
So for 4 years, she was on your mind.
She wasn't on my mind, but I saw her when I was 10, and I didn't see her again until 4 years later. Yeah, I didn't see her anymore until 4 years later. And I was on the school bus.
Oh, wow.
And I stayed in the country, but my school bus had to come through the city limits of Robertsonville to get to Roanoke High School.
Okay.
And I was on the bus, and I saw her she went at the bus stop. I think she walked to school, and I saw her. And I asked one of my friends, I was like, yo, you remember this girl by the name? And he said, he couldn't remember. Then he said, oh, you talking about Leslie and Pam. That was her sister, Pam.
Sister.
And I said, yeah, Leslie, like that. So I went to school that day, didn't think about nothing in school that day, and came back through the town of Robertsonville and got off the bus.
To run into
her. I knew she was at that bus, that stop. So
right.
I just waited outside, and I know kids had to come outside and play. So she opened the door, come outside. I went and introduced myself.
So for you to remember the details of this story 41 years later is very impressive. Yeah. What was the line? What did he say, Leslie, when he came up to you after he had been waiting?
So, I don't remember because I ain't have anything for him, so.
She didn't like me.
I ain't had no for him. I'm trying to get home. It's hot.
I did. And one thing, I was a little bitter because I was here in the South and I wanted to be up there, so none of that fazed me any. But, and then you say that was something. But if you saw me back then, it was even more something, because with the Coke bottle glasses and all that, I didn't even have enough self-esteem in myself for somebody else to like me. So that I wear glasses. I put on my regular glasses at home, and I can see how when he looks at me because of those glasses and how I look. So I think I'm looking good like this, but he looks at me different when I have my glasses on, and I can tell. So I know it's more than beauty, because I wouldn't even give myself a chance with those glasses. Right. So I know that it's more to it than just the way, a feature of how I look. Right. Yeah.
And I think that, that is a great example of when we hear beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because beauty does see deeper than the outward appearance. Yes, yes. And that's biblical. Yeah. The Lord tells us, in 1 Peter 3, that a woman should be really mindful of her inner beauty and not just adorning her outward. Right. And so Darius, I didn't know about the Coke bottle glasses, and these are Leslie words. I'm sure she was as gorgeous as she is today. But what was it though? What was the thing? Before we get to what is y'all's secret now, what was the thing then? Well,
I played on a baseball team called Central Sawyer when I was 10, and I knew she played on a softball team called the Doves, and I was just staring through the fence, and I know her stigma about her glasses. That didn't bother me at all, the glasses and stuff like that. It's just that I knew that was somebody that I really liked, and that was at 10, and then for me not to see her until 4 years later, and I was like, I'm on a mission. Right. So when I went on that mission, I was able to talk to her and win her over a little bit. Then it went on from there.
Yes.
Yeah, went on from there.
So, but this was 9th grade.
Yeah.
When did y'all start dating? Then?
Yeah, so when I came down at 14, and backstory, I was in a foster home. Okay. My sister and I were in a foster home. My father couldn't take care of us, so we were put in a foster home. In the home that we lived in, she had children, and that's where everybody came. So he was a cousin to them. So that's where all the children came to that house. So that's how we got to know each other and to grow into that relationship. And so I know a lot of people want to hear God ordained and all that, but it was because before my mother died, maybe a month before she died, we called what you call boyfriend and girlfriend. And he has been in my life. I mean, I tell you, the day one before she died, he was my boyfriend, and he's been with me ever since. It's been the 41 years. But he was in my life, and he was the person that I had to cling to, and was the only person that I had after she passed away. Yeah. He was my person.
Right. And that's so awesome. And you talked about God ordained, and I think that is what Marriage and Ministry, the show, really wants to inspire people to see life through the lens of God. So you think about foster home, you think about Coke bottle glasses, you think about New Jersey to Robinsonville, the distance between that. and how the Lord just orchestrated all of that for you to meet your person.
That's right.
You know, you refer to Darius as your person.
Right.
And that's why we have to be careful, you know, your father being sick, and a lot of times we can curse things, or we can get into a woe is me,
right.
or we can say, why did this have to be me? Instead of just embracing it and seeing how God wants to orchestrate it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he has been your person for 41 years. What has kept you all in that moving forward mindset? You know, because it's no secret that marriages have challenges.
Right.
And not because of anything you two do, but spiritually, the enemy just attacks marriage. It is God ordained. It's an institution that represents God's love for us, and he wants to discredit it. So he goes hard after marriages. What do you all think has, and then we'll get to the children, we'll get to the grandchildren, the sports, because I think you all could really, Jason and I came over for dinner, and we were just having casual conversation, and we gleaned so much from you all about balance and enjoying the moments, all those things. So, and you all didn't sit us down to have this conversation. It was just casual. And so we left there so encouraged. So I know you all have just a lot to lend to people. But before we get to that, what do you think is, you know, what keeps you going? When you think about your union, your marriage, each other, you know what connected you or who connected you, but what keeps you going?
So Darius and I are a little different from majority of couples because we started on the ground floor. So he wasn't a college student, he wasn't single, living his own life, and I'm living my own life. We grew together, so we grew up together. So we understood, I don't like this, you don't like this. So we knew how to say, you know, okay, I know not to do this, and you know not. So we grew up together. Just like, and nothing against anybody that has separate bank account. He would go to work, he put his check on the counter. It was no separate account. So we don't even know how to function like that. And nothing's wrong with it, but we just don't know how to do that because we've always, whatever, he was working, so he brought it home. And then when I decided to work, or when I worked, we just was joined. So we worked together because that's all we know. We don't know anything else. And even if we had to do it, we would have to learn how to do it because we've always been together and worked together. And then I was just thinking, I grew up my mother was a single parent. So I saw some things that I didn't want to do when I got older. You talk about the kids, but going to PTA meetings, I wanted to do all that because she couldn't because she was a single parent. And then he grew up with a mother and a father, but he saw some things that his father did that he didn't want to do. So we was like, okay, we know what we don't like and what we do like, so we're gonna make it work. And again, yeah, we have good days, bad days, but we know that we stay committed to one another. And then again, it's not only about us, it's about our children, it's about the effect on other people, because they see us give up. Then they're like, they've been together that long and they give up. Oh, we might well just, you know, throw in the towel. But we know that we have to work together. And then again, an example for our children to see that just because you have a bad day, it doesn't mean you give up. That you continue to make it work and fix those things.
That's good, Leslie. That is so good. Darius, do you have anything you want to add about?
We got married young. We was young when we got married. And my thing is that I knew she was the one. And being so young, you know, you have your growing pains and everything coming up through marriage and stuff like that. But we was able to make things work. And we weren't going to be just the ones that just turn our back on each other and say, because we literally grew up together. I mean, kids, and everything that we done together. We never had a separate bank account or nothing like that.
But we've never been separate.
No, never.
Right. What, how old were you? How long had you all been married before you had your first child?
Tanika was a month old when we got married.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She was a month
So
old.
you all grew up together, and
That's right.
Yes.
So the three of us, we've never him and me. No, we always we came with the package.
Yes.
And the good thing, he was her father, but
Yes.
it's just the three of us.
Right.
Yeah, the three.
Wow. And so you had to learn some quick life lessons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just you all. It was,
Yeah,
you had to
but
be
again, and this is part of us growing. But my mother died when I was 14, but she had brain cancer, and when they operated, she went blind and she was paralyzed. So I was the oldest of 4 children. So I had to mature at 9 to help take care of our family. So yeah, we had to grow together, but it was something that I was kind of already doing, and he came along to help, but I had to have the instincts to help take care of my siblings and my mother for the time that she was alive.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
No. No.
The youngest.
I'm the youngest of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the youngest
I
of 10.
hadn't heard that number of children in a long time.
Yeah, my mom, dad had 5 boys and 5 girls.
Oh, wow.
I'm the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My mother was 33 when she passed away. His mother was 33 when she had him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure was.
That
I
is.
can tell you this. I never got to meet her mom. Never got to meet her. I heard her on the telephone when she was talking to her one day, but never got a chance to meet her. Yeah. I was 15.
Wow. That is something. So you all, I'm sure you have a lot of lessons when it comes to just life, marriage. Let's talk about the children. So you had Tanika was with you all as you're growing up. Now, one of the things I've observed about your relationship with your children, y'all all seem like just friends. Like everybody just seems like, I mean, I can tell, not in a disrespectful way, that they seem like your friends. But you and Tanika and Tia remind me of me and my mom and my sister, like the best of friends.
Right.
And then how you and Terrell interact reminds me of my. So did that just grow from y'all personalities, how y'all interacted with y'all siblings, or you were very intentional about developing things with your children?
Bingo.
Yeah, intentional.
Okay.
Intentional.
Okay.
Again, growing up, when you grow up and your siblings are separated and you can talk to them every now and then. So, and I've had some people with my family, and, because I'm kind of closed off, but it's intentional because we want to make sure that we have a good relationship. We want them to go out and be able to have this relationship with other people. So it was definitely intentional because of the way he was the youngest, so everybody except for one brother were gone when he was coming up.
Wow. Yeah.
So the rest of them was old enough to be his parents. But we definitely, it's intentional. That's my word, is intentional about everything. And it doesn't always work the way you want it, but it's intentional in trying to have that family to be an example. Always ask the Lord to allow us to be examples to other people. And then that's trying to do what you can. You're going to have setbacks, but we're intentional about what we're doing with our family.
And I'm all about family now. Family is the key, and family is the thing that keeps us growing.
Yes.
And I'm all about family, all about doing family things, all about having family cookouts, and not just your distant family, but my immediate family. That's what I love to see. Love to see that.
And that's our secret. Is family, because that's all we know. I was talking to a young lady the other day, and she was asking me about myself or whatever, and I said, the best way I could tell you, if you cut me, you'll see the word family come out. Because that's just what we're about, is just family. But we are intentional about what we do and how we try to do what we do.
And Darius mentioned extended family, but focusing on immediate family. Have y'all seen that intentionality with your immediate family have an impact on your extended family?
Give an example.
So, are y'all the one now because they see how y'all the ones. The ones everybody come to.
We the
the
go-to
ones.
people.
Is your house the
We
one?
the go-to
Is your
Yeah, we the
We
go-to.
are, yes, we
right?
are.
I can imagine that.
We
I
are.
can imagine
Yes.
that. How do you embrace that?
We have boundaries. We do. Yeah, we definitely have boundaries. And we had to learn that, but we have boundaries. So that's pretty much how we try to do. We'll look at the situation and see how we need to function, but we've learned to have boundaries, and we stick to those boundaries as well.
Yeah, that's good. So if you take your relationship, your marriage, 41 years of being together, you take your family, the intentionality with your family. If you had to, and I'm sure you've had this conversation, what are the 5 things that you share with your children? Like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember these 5 things. These 5 things that keep you. And it can be, 5
Right.
between both of y'all. Like, because I'm sure y'all have had the, just don't forget these things, and this will carry you to where you need to go.
What's your number 1 about that?
What's your number 1?
The camera.
The what?
The camera.
What camera?
You always tell them to go through life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've told them that from, I don't know when, young age. Go through life like a camera on you at all times, because it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this even before cameras. But
I was about to say,
just
this was
said,
even before
this was
social media and all
Yeah,
that.
right. Yeah, he would always
Yeah.
tell them at school, whatever you're doing, you think that a camera is on you, then that'll base on how you respond to a situation. So that's always been his number 1. But and like you said, there are plenty of them. They probably could come in, girl, they'll break out a book. Terrell, like you
Yeah.
said, he tried to throw that stuff on his daughter
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
he heard it so much. But I mean, just living life. Be true to yourself. That's one to be true. And then I always tell them, you have not because you ask not. Don't mean you're gonna get it, but you got to go out there and see, and then see what the response is. But it don't mean you're gonna get it, but you have to be willing to ask and do. But I mean, they're probably get home and say, we could have said this, we could have said that. But more than anything is trying to be an example, to be an example of how we should live. And again, I always pray that they would be examples for other children. We haven't gotten to the grandchildren, but even talking to them, we pray in the morning. Darius pray with them in the morning, and I say, if you see somebody sad, somebody not doing this, you be that person. And it's just trying to instill in them that this is what you should do. And we did the same thing with the older ones.
How old are the grandchildren? Well, how old are your children? Because you have 3 children and 3 grandchildren.
That's right.
So how old are the
39.
children? How old
30.
are the grandchildren?
Tanika's 39, Terrell is 36, and Tia is 29.
That's right. And the Ava is 8, Tristan is 5, and the new one is only 2 days old.
A few days old.
Yeah.
Yes, so definitely congratulations on that. So I didn't realize there was a 10-year gap between Tanika and
Yeah.
Tia.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Tia is, to hear them tell it, Tia is the only child.
Yeah.
She's the only child.
Yeah.
Because of the gap.
Yeah. And I guess I didn't realize that because they're close.
Yeah.
Oh, they stayed in the same room together.
Yeah, they are close.
Yeah.
Tanika was Tia's mother.
So,
So she did a lot of nurturing
yes.
her and all that. Now you have a strong family unit. It seems as if you have a strong faith. What are some things that have happened in your union that illustrated that strength? We don't know how strong we are until we have to be strong. You don't know where your strength comes from until you have to find it, right? So what are some things? So I know you're a police officer.
yeah.
That is I have to be strong type.
Oh yeah. You as working as a police officer, you've seen some things. You've seen some things, and you've been through some things. So I've seen the tragedies within the city. I've seen the tragedies, and family-wise, pretty much everything-wise. And I was careful not to let that hinder me in my relationship with my wife, because I know things like that. I try not to bring things home. And she always say, you keep a lot of stuff in, which a lot of stuff don't need to be told.
Right.
But that's one of the main reasons, because we was young when I became police officer.
So you've always been a police officer?
Yeah, I was 25 when I became police officer.
Oh, wow.
And right from the get-go, things, you know, I have seen some things, and I was like, yo, I cannot bring this stuff home for my family. So pretty much kept quite much stuff to myself. I tell her some things, but a lot of stuff I just...
Yeah.
Now, did you find yourself, like, that made you extra protective of your family?
Real
especially
protective.
Your girls?
Yeah, real protective now.
Let me tell this part. So he was gang unit, jump out, whatever you call it. Me and the kids were going to the mall. It's been some years back.
Okay.
And we were going to the mall, and I had on this hoodie, and it had Hudgins on the back. He wasn't going with us, and I was leaving. He said, oh no. He said, y'all not wearing that sweatshirt out there? Because the people knew he was the gang unit, and they didn't know who we were.
Right.
But he said, oh no. He said, you got to take that sweatshirt off. He said, you can't wear that to the mall. I'm like, what? And I took it off, but he was like, oh no,
Right.
y'all not going out here tagging y'all who y'all belong to. And so that were some of the things that he wouldn't do, because he wanted to protect us, and said, no, they don't like me, they know who I am, but they're not gonna find you to target you or the children.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
So that just contributed to just the kind of the extra caution.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what do the girls say now? Do they understand, appreciate it?
Oh, they understand now.
Yeah.
They understand what I was talking about when we was coming up. And a lot of folks say, I mean, just like your kids, just like the pastor's kids, and just like the police officer's kids, I mean, they are kids, and kids make mistakes, just like everyone. And I tell myself that hey, my kids make mistakes just like anybody else, just like we make mistakes.
That's right.
So I was able to put that together and say, hey, I'm gonna put a covering over my family to a point that I didn't want to be extra cautious, but I wanted to let them know that, hey, it's a whole nother element because of what I do. So I let them know that, and they've known it all since they were young. They always thought I had somebody out there always watching them.
Right.
They said, man, we can't go nowhere. Yeah, you can. It's just that I know a lot of people.
You know, a lot of people, yes. But Leslie, you know a lot of people too.
Yeah, I'm not like he does. I know some people, but nothing like him. Yeah.
Do you think, because you are, I know you're involved in sorority, you're involved in the community, you work in the local government. So has that kind of contributed to you connecting to people, the community?
Yeah, but I think more so mine is from the children. And, the children and being active in their lives. So my name is not Leslie, my name is Terrell mother, Tia mother, Tanika mother. So I don't have a name. That's my name is. Right. And so again, yes, being intentional and being in their lives. So, you know, you get to meet other children and their parents, and sometimes they remember me, and I'm like, oh, hey. Yeah, because I don't remember you. Right. But no, it's pretty much just trying to be involved in the community. So yeah, that's how it is.
That's good. Now, oh wow, y'all. So it's almost time to end, and so when we come back, I do want to talk. I want you to give some tips to parents and families who are trying to balance. You know, because when I say I knew your children were active, but I didn't know how active they were until we came to your house and went to the upstairs and we saw the wall for Terrell, the wall for Tanika, the wall for Tia, and we just saw all of that they were awarded for, which equates to all that they were involved in. Right. And I know, you know, even with Jason and I, that can be a challenge sometimes, trying to balance all that we have going on, all that the kids have going on, and trying to balance it while still enjoying it, right? Not resenting it, not being irritated, going to the game, huffing and puffing, how to enjoy the moment. So I really want you all to talk about that. balancing, and just encouraging people to enjoy the moments you have.
Right.
Because as you named off the ages, I'm sure you can remember day one with Tanika, and now she is 39 years old. Wow, right? With her own child, Tristan.
That's right.
Right, and so you can remember those. So listen, we're going to pause here, but we will return. We're going to return with the Hudgins because I really want them to encourage those families who have busy schedules, and not just with the children, but with you yourself, so that we can learn balance. Go ahead and put clapping emojis. Go ahead and thank Leslie and Darius for joining us for what they have shared. And then you tune in again with our next episode as they continue to share.
Together. Now